Welcome to the Walton Pi. Today we're going to explore limits by looking at their graphs. Okay, so let's look at a few different graphs and try and intuitively figure out what the limits of those functions are going to be. So let's say that these are our axes, and we have the function that is behaving like this. So let's say that this is our graph of f of x. And we are going to try and figure out what is the limit of f of x as x approaches 3. Well, as x approaches 3, we are trying to figure out what happens as we are getting close to this point. So we are going to be approaching it from both the right and the left-hand sides, and we want to get an idea of what is the value of the function if we were to only be looking at the function, ignoring what it actually does at that point. So when we're dealing with the limit, we don't care about this point down here where we actually know that f of 3 is equal to 2. We just don't care about that when we are talking about the limit. We don't care what the actual value of the function is at that point. All we care about is what approaching if we are approaching it from nearby points. So what the limit of this would be is it would be approaching this value up here, which would be happening here up here at 5. So we would say that the limit of f of x as x approaches 3 is 5, even though the actual value is 2. We don't care about that when we're talking about limits. Now, if we were to instead be looking at what is the limit as x approaches -4, this one is going to be a bit different. Because if we're approaching from the left-hand side, we are going towards 4. But if we're approaching from the right-hand side, we're going towards 2. So in this case, the limit of f of x does not exist. So often you'll see that written as d, standing for does not exist. So there the limit does not exist because it doesn't go towards one value. It instead is going towards different values from different directions, and so we can't say that there is one value that it approaches. Let's look at another example. So let's say again that this purple line is representing our curve, and this is instead our function of f of x. What is the limit of f of x as x approaches, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, as x approaches 7? We're trying to figure out what is close to 7. Well, if we look from the left-hand side, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the same thing happens from the right-hand side. So on both sides, it's heading up towards infinity. And based on the way we drew this with those positive arrows without them intersecting, we can assume that this means it's going to be going up all the way towards infinity. So we would say that the limit is equal to infinity. This is to figure out what would the limit of the function be. Pretty soon we'll be talking about the actual definition of limits, and we'll be able to calculate precisely what they are without having to look at graphs and guesstimate where we think it's approaching. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. Please check out some of my other videos, and please like and subscribe if you have not already so I can continue to make these sorts of videos. Have a great day and good luck with the rest of your math.